That was setting the bar a little bit too high, I think. That was fantastic. Thank you, Christine. So when we started JMC Brands in 2010, we started with basically a vague idea of some products that people couldn't buy easily, and we wanted to create an easier way to buy media. And this picture's taken at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So if you get a chance to visit while you're here, it's a really fantastic experience. But we just started with just me, and I do have to point out Lori, who's here in the black. She's the first hire that I made, and for anybody starting a business, I highly recommend getting a Lori as your first hire, because as a lot of entrepreneurs, we really love to create things and come up with cool ideas. What we really hate to do is send invoices. Okay, I got a couple laughs, which means a couple people know what I'm talking about. Lori loves sending invoices, and I love that she sends those invoices, because the only reason we're here is because I would never send an invoice, and she sent them all for me, so I'm really thankful for that. As we started this journey, though, of growing JMC Brands, it was really more about how do we go to where we want to be rather than how do we leverage the tools that already exist. And so as we started to build this team, it really started out in the beginning with accountability. And Christine mentioned a few things about accountability, and she was talking about being accountable to creating great content. But one of the real big problems that I identified really early on is that with the invention of Google AdWords, anybody sitting in their parents' basement with a computer, like I was at the time, could open a Google AdWords account, and you could call yourself a digital marketer. And then the next thing that you know, we end up with a website like this. Now, if you can't quite tell, there are about 1 billion ads on this website. Now, some of you may have seen this website before. This is actually a $1 million website, if you wouldn't believe it. A guy from the UK actually invented this in 2005 as a way to pay for his schooling. And so he sold pixels, $1 per pixel. There were 1 million pixels on the screen. And depending on what you bought, depending on how big of a picture that you got. But the problem was that the internet was becoming inundated with this kind of advertising. And it was really sad because I didn't want to be part of a world that was creating an ugly internet experience that was full of distracting ads, annoying ads. We wanted to create something that was valuable for people. We wanted to create something that people actually wanted to interact with. And so early on, what we did is we came up with 4 key steps, and I want to share them with you. It starts off with having the right network. Now, you can go to Google, you can go to AdWords, you can open up an AdWords account, and you can reach a lot of people. However, guess who's not there? The Facebook audience, the Instagram audience, the Snapchat audience. These audiences are all on different platforms. They're on different networks. So we identified that if we wanted to get to the most people that we could, so we didn't have to decrease the amount of targeting criteria that we had, we needed to create our own network. And so we started plugging and playing every single network we could get our hands on, from Google AdWords to AOL to AppNexus to Cleveland.com's inventory is in our network. We wanted to make sure that whatever we did, we didn't have to decrease our targeting. Well, this person is kind of like the cousin's brother's, neighbor's, uncle's former roommate to somebody who would buy our products, so let's just go ahead and advertise to them. We didn't want that. We wanted to have a large network with billions of impressions available so we could reach the right person every time without any limiting to our targeting, right? Then we said, well, like Christine said, the message is really important. If we deliver a message that is ugly or pixelated, or you can't find the X to close the ad. Anybody? Have we been there? How annoying is that? Especially on a mobile experience. That's terrible. That creates a negative brand experience. My job is to get people to love your brand. My job isn't to get people to hate your brand. And you have this experience that says, wow, look at this pretty ad that I can't get rid of. And there my content was that I was looking for is now gone, hidden behind this thing. That's not good experience. We wanted to create an experience where the ad that we were serving served a purpose. It created value. It brought people along the journey. So we created our own ad units. So you could have an entire website experience inside of the ad on the page without leaving the page, without leaving where you were. And if you want to go back to what you're doing, just click the X. It just shrinks back to a normal banner ad. People love that. And so we said, well, what happens after they click the ad? The customer journey is vitally important. We want to make sure that we're no more than 2 or 3 clicks away from buying in any kind of scenario, because we are busy people. We don't have time to go to the homepage of a website, research for the product that they advertised to us, hope that we can find the coupon code that was on the ad that was on the other page that we already lost because they moved us to this new page. And so we built a system that said, let's build our own landing pages. And we know how corporate America is. If you're not brand consistent with corporate America, they get mad at you, right? They slap your hand and say, well, we're not going to pay for that ad because you messed up our brand. And so we said, all right, well, we're going to build a landing page experience where all the person has to do is type in their name, their phone number, maybe their email address, and all of the corporate approved brand assets pop up on the screen. And so what we did is we paired these all together into a custom experience where we go to our network that has more impressions available than pretty much anybody else out there because we plug them all together. We built unique ads into this environment so that way you could have an ad experience without leaving the page. You can watch videos without leaving the website you were on before. We found that with these ad units, you can engage a brand for 1.5 minutes online without them even leaving the page they were on in the first place. Now, if that doesn't mean anything to you, let me remind you that we have the attention span of a goldfish. And so 3 seconds online is about an eternity. 1.5 minutes is unheard of. So we put all this together. We said, we're not going to wait for somebody else to create this experience for us. We're going to create it. We're going to create it. And then at the end of it all, we're going to look at the analytics, and we're not going to lie. Integrity is a core value that is on our wall, and we will never change the numbers in the Excel sheet to make it look like we did better than we did, because that doesn't do anybody any good. That just makes it look like we're doing good when really we're not doing good at all. We won't do that. And so we're going to look at our analytics every single day. We're going to optimize every single day to make sure that we're getting the best results that we can get. We developed this process in order to create an ad environment that we were proud to be a part of, not an ad experience like that website that we just saw. However, step forward, we look like this. How many of you guys feel like this when you're managing all of your social media, all of your other media outlets, emails, phone calls, meetings, everything? You have to have so many hands. And so soon it became apparent that we needed to evolve again. We needed to adapt our digital, and we needed to come up with something that was easier. And so we came up with the Adapted Digital Media Platform just this January. This platform has every single network for 1 click away from you. It's 1 phone call. It's 1 email. It's 1 instant message to your account manager, and your ad can go on all of the networks across all of our platforms. They're all in one place. And then we said, well, okay, that's nice. What about those ads we created? And we created the ad suite. So the ad suite is all of the most popular ads that we have that literally all you have to do is give us a logo, and we can give you an advertisement that is 100% in line with what you're trying to say as your message. And then, all right, we have the ad suite. We have the network. How are we going to report on this? What about the analytics? And so we created Easy Dash Reporting. So every single network, social media, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whether it's part of an ad campaign that we're running through the Adapted Digital Media Platform, every single bit of your information is going into the Easy Dash reports, so you can look at the analytics across every single campaign, across the board, every single time. No more downloading a report, putting it in a PowerPoint, download another report, put it in a PowerPoint, download a third report, put it in a PowerPoint, evaluate the differences between the 3 reports, realize that you mixed up one of the numbers on the reports and you got to go back and do it all again. Everything is just all in one spot. And so really what all this is about is it's all about adapting. And we said there's got to be a better way to learn digital media. You know, LinkedIn learning is great, but it only goes so far. You know, your mentors are great, but they only know so much. And we said, how can we get some of the best speakers in the world on this stage to share information with us and with everyone else? And we invented the Adapted Digital Media Summit. And that's why we're here today. Tomorrow, across today and tomorrow, you have 14 hours of some of the best media, social media, programmatic advertising, customer service, website optimization. The best people that we could find are going to be on this stage giving you that information. And that's why we're all here today, is because we adapt. And because we have adapted over this time, one of the things that I'm really excited to share is that we kind of won an award recently. And here's a little video about sending Joe Manns, who is my partner, to New York to accept it.
The thing that's interesting is JMC Brands is 9 years old. Not only are we growing, but we're still 9 years later continuing to grow at a rate that's recognized by like the leaders in the industry. We were on the Entrepreneur Magazine's top 500 small businesses 3 years in a row. And here we are on the top 100 fastest growing ad agencies. And that's pretty substantial. If you were to go back, if they were to audit 9 years and evaluate 9 years of growth, according to the criteria and looking at the rankings, we would have made the list every year for the past 9 years. We have an amazing team of folks that work at JMC Brands, just dedicated and loyal and just making things happen. They all definitely have a passion for what we do, and they take care of our clients, and our clients take care of the business. That's just how it works. And so this award's for them.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building,
I actually haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
Let me stay there. You know, Roy, being in New York City and getting this award, accepting this award on behalf of JMC Brands, it was awesome. We've got local awards, and not to take anything away from the local chapters of the AMA and AdFed and things like that, but to be there receiving this award for the hard work that you had a vision for and the hard work you put into it, kind of stunk that you weren't there. So I'm glad we could be here today, that I can hand this award to you on stage. This is yours.
All right.
You deserve it, man.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You know, Joe said it in the video, but I really have to reiterate it. Everybody that is on my team, please stand up. Everybody stand up. Everybody look around. These guys are phenomenal all-stars. They are digital media rock stars. They're the ones that made this possible. They're the ones that make the campaigns great. Yes, they're the ones that get, 40 times higher than national average click-through rates. Well, thank you very much for that, and it's really nice to actually see it,
He's never touched it before now. This is the first time he's got to see it. So. Awesome.
All right, well, we're going to keep this party started. Joe and I are going to leave the stage. We're going to do a quick stage reset here for you, and then you guys are going to meet somebody who, well, let's just say it. He is a 150 millionaire, so he started a company. You may have heard of it, Ustream. I'm going to let Joe do the formal introduction once we come back out, but this is going to be exciting.